Spring is calling, weddings, patio sessions, barbecues, and you want that drink vibe without sacrificing tomorrow. That's RK Zero Proof. As the world's first zero proof spirits brand, RK created the warm molecule, giving you the smooth kick of whiskey or tequila with zero alcohol, 0 calories, 0 sugar, and all the peace of mind you need to enjoy every moment. Step into the zero proof season at rkzeroproof.com.
Hi, I'm Cindy Crawford, and I'm the founder of Meaningful Beauty. Well, I don't know about you, but I never liked being told, oh, wow, you look so good for your age. Why even bother saying that? Why don't you just say you look great at any age, every age? That's what Meaningful Beauty is all about. We create products that make you feel confident in your skin at the age you are now.
Meaningful Beauty. Beautiful skin at every age. Learn more at meaningfulbeauty.com.
Stop. If you know what the rose is, this is for you. And if you don't, listen closer. Meet Lem by Hello Nancy. Yes, it looks like a lemon, but it's anything but innocent. Every 25 seconds, someone discovers Lem. With 500,000 customers and a 4.7 star rating, women say it's toe-curling and mind-blowing. It's whisper quiet and completely discreet, so no one hears a thing and no one knows what it is. Go to hellonancy.com for 50% off this Valentine's Day. Once you try it, you'll understand.
Looking for these better days.
It is Thursday, March 19th. I'm Scott Seidenberg. Here's what you need to know to make today a better day. The field of 64 is set. The NCAA tournament officially gets underway today. Mackenzie Rivers joins me on this episode of Better Day, presented by FanDuel. And Mac, yes, I know the playing of the first four was technically the start of the NCAA tournament, but to me, that's still the play-in games. And now this is the NCAA tournament, beginning with the first round, 64 teams today here on Thursday.
Absolutely. And I really feel like it's not that much of a mental leap to say, conference finals are do or die to get into the championship, a lot of them. The first four, they're do or die games to get into the big dance, but now we got the big dance. By the way, we were 4-0 picking first four games, so maybe we should retire. Yeah. Miami gets it done as 6-point dogs. You heard it here first.
Miami gets it done. So we did give it out on the podcast and in the newsletter as a play on Miami of Ohio with the points. We didn't play it for official, members as an official play because we were a day late and $1 short, And I know that some people are like, well, I don't care about the line movements. Still make the bet. I do care about the line movements, I can't give out a play at +6 when it was +8, it's just, yes, if you were on it though, you listened to the pod, you had to play, great, good call. You know what I did last night is I had one of the sports books gave me a profit boost, right? So I actually put a little bit on Miami of Ohio on the money line.
Nice.
So yes.
That is good use of the profit boost. The more plus money you get with those profit boosts, the more theoretical advantage you have for a free bet.
And that's exactly what happened. So on the money line, instead of getting +230, I was able to get north of +300. So that's what I did, again, taking advantage of these profit boosts and things like that. And I figured let's make a +230 over +300. Why not? Let's have some fun. So Miami of Ohio is now in the field of 64. And there's a lot of things that we need to get to for the first round here today. We know that first round unders, or first half unders, all the rage, right? Shout out Sean and Ryan of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. The guys have been on that trend for years with the first half unders. But here's what I want to do specifically, Mackenzie, is I want to isolate the early unders. This is what I went back and I looked at. Since the start of the 2021 season, so that was the NCAA tournament in March of 2022, I looked at the first round games that started before 2 o'clock Eastern time. And so that is, 4 games each day, right? Something like that. I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that's what happens every single year, right? You get the 4 games on each day. And here today, the early games are TCU and Ohio State, the 8-9 matchup in the East. That is a 12:15 Eastern time tip. Then at 12:40, it's the 4:13 matchup between Nebraska and Troy. At 1:30 Eastern time, it's South Florida and Louisville, the 11-6 matchup in the East. And then at 1:50, it is High Point and Wisconsin, the 12-5 matchup in the West region. Well, Mackenzie Rivers, if you looked at the 32 games in the database that started before 2 o'clock Eastern time in the first round of the NCAA tournament, the unders are 24-8.
24.
Not first half unders.
Okay.
Not first half unders.
Yeah.
The full game under is 24-8.
That's logical. And this is for the first round specifically?
This is specifically the first round games starting before 2 o'clock Eastern time.
It's the confluence of a lot of these things we think lead to under. Unfamiliar environments, unfamiliar setting generally outside of the arena, and early start time. All of these guys have played Tuesday, Saturday, generally, later than these games are going to start.
Yep. So we are 75% to the under. And so let's take a look at these first 4 games here today, and the odds courtesy of our friends over at the FanDuel Sportsbook. Here are for the 4 early games here in the NCAA tournament first round. Ohio State and TCU is at 146.5. Troy and Nebraska, 137.5. South Florida, Louisville, 163.5. High Point and Wisconsin, 163.5. Now, the average total for these games, Mackenzie, going back to the start of the 2022 tournament that year, right, 142.9 has been the average total in those games that went 24-8 to the under. So 142.9. When you see a low total here like 137.5 in the Troy-Nebraska game, does that worry you at all?
Yes, that's always the worry with these trends. Now, I haven't heard as much about the full game unders in the early start time. I like that filtering by you, so I don't think it's going to be caught on that much. But let's look at Ken Palm, which is not going to be responsive to any trends. They're saying they're projecting 138 points in that Troy game, Troy-Nebraska. And you said the total was like right there, right?
Yeah. What'd you say the total? It's total
138.
What is that projected at?
138.
Yeah, it's yes, it's exactly that. It's 137.5.
Yeah, they docked it a half point because they know people like to bet unders, or at least the sharps do.
Yeah.
I don't think it's enough. I think there's a good and plus we know Nebraska is going to be petrified. They haven't won a championship in their history. I like them. I have a couple brackets with them getting upset.
So let's take a look now at the analytical bracket. We're going to fill out the analytical bracket here, Mackenzie. We're going to compare it to our gut bracket, and this is how we are going to fill out our final bracket here for the NCAA tournament, and this will be obviously emailed out in our newsletter, so everyone's going to have the final bracket prior to the tip-off of the first round games here today. Also, I have to make my way over to Stations to enter in the Last Man Standing contest, and perhaps you and I can come up with what is going to be my Last Man Standing selection for today. The strategy here with Last Man Standing, and for those who are not aware,
is to not lose any of your picks.
It's a survivor contest here for the NCAA tournament in Vegas, and what it is you have to pick one game against the spread, one game, and survive. Now, you can use the same team twice, but you have to survive every day of the tournament. So you pick one game here on Thursday. If you cover, you advance to Friday. You pick one game Friday. If you win, you go to Saturday. You win, you go to Sunday, and so on and so forth. And it's a $50,000 prize for first place. Right?
So it's similar to Survivor in that you have to pick every day, but you don't have you have to pick against the spread, making it a million times harder, and you can pick a team more than once.
Exactly. Now, the strategy is I always wait till later in the afternoon. I don't want to pick a game earlier in the day because these lines, when the contest lines come out at the beginning of the day, they don't change. So there could be market movement later in the day for the afternoon and the evening games where you can get significant point value versus the contest lines. So it's always a good strategy in this contest to wait till the afternoon to submit your plays to see if there's any, any injuries or any other line movement or just sharps that are manipulating the lines, things like that. And that's what I'm going to do here for later on today. But let's fill out our analytical bracket. Now, what I did for this, Mackenzie, was I went through the Ken Palm, Bart Torvik, and Haslam analytics and their matchup scores for every game. And I gave the first round winners, right? And then what I did was I put in a couple of efficiency metrics to project who's going to move on forward. It's not going to surprise you. It likes the number one seeds, Mackenzie. But
They're good.
Let's go through.
Gotta give them that. They're good.
Yeah. Let's go to the winners here in the first round as we build our analytical bracket. No surprise, it has Duke beating Siena. Then the analytical model has Ohio State over TCU. St. John's against Northern Iowa. It has St. John's. It has Kansas over California Baptist. It has Louisville over. So again, there's not going to be a lot of upsets in the analytical bracket here. So maybe I'll just run through like the favorites until we get to a potential upset. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. And I think for people filling out their brackets, let's say the lower seed. When the lower seed wins, usually they'll favorite, but sometimes they're not. But
yeah,
if the lower seed's supposed to advance, we can just skip that one.
Yeah, basically, they have in my in the metrics here, it has in the East region no upsets in the first round. Okay, now in the second round in the East region, it has. I don't think it has any upsets in the analytical bracket. It has Duke over Ohio State. Now, this is what's interesting. It has St. John's over Kansas in the analytical bracket. Now, that would be a 5 seed beating a 4 seed. Okay, so by seeding purposes, it would be an upset. And then it has UConn and Michigan State moving on. Again, this is the analytical bracket, not our gut bracket, the analytical bracket. And then it has the 1 and 2 seeds meeting up, Duke against UConn, with Duke advancing to the Final Four. Okay, so that is the East region of the analytical bracket. Now let's look at the South region of the analytical bracket, and it's going to be Florida, Iowa, the 9 over the 8 seed. So I guess that's an upset in terms of seeding, not really anything else. Okay. Then it has Vanderbilt, Nebraska, so no upsets there. It has North Carolina over TCU, even though that's one that maybe we don't have in our gut bracket. Okay. And then Illinois moving on, and then St. Mary's and Houston. So St. Mary's winning the 7-10 matchup, and Houston. In the second round, it has Illinois, Houston, and then in the top half of the bracket, it has Florida and – am I missing a team here? Florida and Vanderbilt, excuse me. And then it has, no surprise, it loves the number 1 seeds. It has Florida against Houston, with Florida advancing to the Final Four. Okay?
Vanderbilt has beaten Florida twice this year. Could be a third time, but the analytics say
I know. This is just the analytical bracket, which again is going to favor a lot of the numbers here because, again, this is what happens, but this is why we compare it to our gut. And we come up with our final thoughts here. Now, in the West region, okay, it has, it has Arizona, Utah State over Villanova. Okay, how about that?
Upset alert.
Then Wisconsin, Arkansas. It has BYU over Texas, not one that we like.
No,
right?
No. Yeah, I still like Texas.
Understand that.
Even
not
after
one that
doing
we
the work,
like.
I still like Texas.
And then Miami and Purdue moving on. In the second round of the analytical bracket, it does have the top seeds in Purdue, Arizona, Gonzaga, right? So Purdue, Gonzaga, Arizona, and did it have Wisconsin or it had Arkansas? So it had Arkansas
1, 2, 3, 4.
beating Wisconsin. And then it has the analytical bracket has Arizona over Purdue. So there you have it. Arizona over Purdue. And so Arizona making it to the Final Four. Again, no surprise. The analytical bracket's going to pick the number one seeds. Hasn't had an upset yet. And in the Midwest region, let's see. You got Michigan. In the 8-9 matchup, it has Georgia, Texas Tech. No upsets here. Alabama, even though they're missing their second leading scorer. Let's see. Tennessee and Virginia move on. Santa Clara over Kentucky, Mackenzie. There's your upset, the 10-7
Wow.
in the analytical bracket, okay? Santa Clara over Kentucky.
And a 4-point dog. The market does not agree, but all right, that's why you look at
Okay.
the analytics.
Yes, all right. Now we look at the next round there, and it does have Iowa State. Let's see. It has Iowa
Tell
State
me it has
advancing.
Santa Clara over. Nope. All right.
No. Virginia advancing, Michigan advancing, and does it have Texas Tech? Or no, it has Alabama, and then it has Michigan and Iowa State. So no surprise there, the 1 and the 2s. And then it has Michigan advancing there. So all 4 1 seeds going to the Final Four, where it has Duke over Florida, Arizona over Michigan, and then Duke over Arizona in the analytical bracket national championship game. So Duke over Arizona in the analytical bracket national championship game. Now let's pull up our gut bracket, Mackenzie, and let's fill out our final bracket. Okay. Now, again, it's mostly chalk here. So we're kind of just looking at the analytics and saying, where do we want to differ from the chalk? Okay. In the East region, in our gut bracket, we had everything the same. We did pick South Florida over Louisville. Okay. I would like to stick with that because Louisville, with the announcement of the injuries, right?
Yep.
I think I want to stick with South Florida over Louisville. What do you think?
I like it.
I think we stick with that's Michael Brown, who's going to miss the first round game here for Louisville. So I think we stick with South Florida pulling off the upset. And then elsewhere in our gut bracket, we did not have any other upsets in the first round. We went with Michigan State, UCLA, and UConn. In our gut bracket, though, we picked Duke over Ohio State, St. John's over Kansas. We picked Michigan State, and we picked UConn. So we're the same with the analytical bracket here with the 1-5, I should say, and then 2-3. In our gut bracket, we
This is
did
where it's starting
St.
to get fun.
John's.
Yep.
We did St. John's against Michigan State. Okay. What do we want to do here for our gut bracket? First off, are we sure it's UCLA or it's UConn over UCLA in our
I was thinking about that. You know, they won their last and covered their last 14
I know.
tournament games. It's wild. I
know.
feel like I might be a little bit bound to like, oh, well, they're in the tournament. Hurley. They're going to keep winning. Maybe we go UCLA here. Maybe we spice it up. It's a different team. They do not have NBA talent like they've had in years past.
So
UConn.
UCLA over UConn and then Michigan State over UCLA?
Izzo's time of year.
Yep.
Yes.
And then what do we think Duke St. John's?
I
think we stick with St. John's in the Final Four.
I like the story. I like the program
like it
is
too.
in a good place. Duke's hurt. I like it.
All right. So we're going to go St. John's over Michigan State in our final bracket here to make it to the Final Four. Okay. Let's go with the South in our gut bracket. Let's see. I'm going to see if we have any upsets here. We had Clemson over Iowa. Do we want to stick with Clemson or do we want to go with the analytics and switch to Iowa?
Switch to Iowa.
Switch to Iowa. Okay. Then we had we had Troy over Nebraska. Do we want to stick to our guts and go Troy over Nebraska, or do we want to play the analytics?
I mean, obviously take the points, but I really think Nebraska.
Let's do Troy, man. Let's
do
do it. Let's stay with Troy. Our gut told us Troy. Let's stay with Troy. Now we took North Carolina in the gut. The analytics took North Carolina, but our very own AJ Hoffman is on VCU in this game. So should we switch to VCU?
I do not like North Carolina this year. So
all right, we're going to switch to VCU. Okay. Now let's see. We have Illinois, we have St. Mary's, and we have Houston. In our gut bracket, we went with Houston to advance, Illinois to advance, Vanderbilt and Florida, setting up that rematch between Vanderbilt and Florida. And in our gut bracket, we picked Vanderbilt to beat Florida once again.
I want to stick with it.
Me too. and then we have Houston over Vanderbilt to go to the Final Four.
Now, I listened to you and AJ. Generally a backer of Houston, AJ is, but he's kind of worried this year. Illinois, has has the Stojakovic. That's always good.
He was worried if they had to play Florida.
Right.
But we have them losing. We have Florida losing to Vanderbilt. So I think Houston gets by Vanderbilt.
Yeah, all right. I'm down with that. Let's keep it.
Okay. Now we go to the West region. In our gut bracket, we had Villanova over Utah State. Do we want to switch and go to Utah State and back the analytics?
I say we back the analytics. It's just a bigger name, which is why I think pick Villanova potentially.
All right. We're good. We're going to switch it to Utah State there. Then we have Wisconsin, Arkansas. We picked the Texas to beat BYU. I'm sticking with that. It's Texas to beat BYU, right?
They're going to win 2 games. This is the second of 2.
All right. Remember, a team from the first 4 has won 10 out of the last 14 times, right? Let's see. Sure. Then we have Gonzaga. We have Miami and Purdue. And then we took, let's see.
We took Miami, I know.
We took Miami to upset Purdue. I want to change that.
Okay.
I've heard a lot of people that are in love with Purdue.
They can't disappoint every year forever, right?
So let's match up Purdue, Gonzaga, and then Arizona, Arkansas. Okay.
Arizona's rolling.
And then how about Gonzaga upsetting Purdue, and then we stick with Arizona over Gonzaga?
I like it.
Okay. All right. And then in the Midwest, in our gut, we had St. Louis, the 9 over the 8 in Georgia. Do we stick with that or switch to the analytics and go Georgia?
This is kind of the opposite of Utah State, Villanova. I say we switch it. We go with the powerful Georgia over St. Louis. Analytics say so.
Okay, we'll go with Georgia. We picked Akron to upset Texas Tech. Do we stay with that or go with the analytics and just go with Texas Tech?
Let's calm down and go with the Texas Tech.
All right, we're going to calm down here. We'll go with Texas Tech. Okay. Then we have Alabama, Tennessee, Virginia. We took Kentucky in our gut, but the analytics say Santa Clara. I think we switch and we go Santa Clara here with the analytics.
I like it.
Okay. Now, the question we didn't do this with our gut bracket because we didn't know that Miami of Ohio was going to win.
Right.
But Miami of Ohio or Tennessee, what do you think? The analytics scream Tennessee.
Yeah, Miami of Ohio was a 6-point dog in the first 4. I mean, it's kind of Cinderella-y, but that's why you look at analytics to
Well, I feel like this was their Cinderella win. They proved that they belong in the tourney, and now they're going to get stomped.
They proved
they'll get stomped by an SEC team. Yeah.
We go Tennessee.
All right. So in our gut bracket, we actually picked Kentucky to upset Iowa State. I don't like
Iowa State. Well, obviously we can't pick Kentucky at this point.
I would like Iowa State to beat Santa Clara.
Okay.
Virginia over Tennessee. We're going to go Texas Tech over Alabama.
Have you ever seen 2.1 pounds of weed? I have not. That is a privilege I have not been privy to.
And then we'll go Michigan over Georgia. We'll go Michigan over Texas Tech. And how about we go with our guy, A.J. Hoffman, and pick Virginia over Iowa State?
Oh, yeah. Anytime I could pick against Iowa State this year, I'm down.
All right. And then we had Michigan going to the Final Four. Do you want Michigan or Virginia in the Final Four?
Let me see. How many ones do we have at this point? We have 1-1. We can make it 2-1.
So we have to do Michigan.
Yeah.
All right. Michigan in the Final Four. Okay. Michigan against Arizona. I'm sticking with the gut bracket. I'm going with Arizona.
I like it.
St. John's against Houston. I'm sticking with the gut bracket. I'm going Houston. And I'm sticking with the gut bracket, Mackenzie, and I'm going Arizona over Houston to win the national championship game.
I think we had St. John's in our gut bracket, but either way,
the gut bracket was we did Arizona over Houston with 166.
I say we stick with it. Arizona over Houston.
All right. We are in. This is our official bracket, Mackenzie, for the NCAA tournament. Are you comfortable with it?
The only question now is, what do the analytics say the total points in the championship game is? I guess that's tough to do. That's a deep simulation right there. It's got to run.
All right. Yeah, we'll save that. Okay, there you have it. So we have our page set. We have our bracket set. It will be emailed out to all of you Better Day Insider, Better Day members, Better Day Insider and Premium members get a little bit earlier, but our bracket is finally set. We have Arizona cutting down the nets, winning the national championship. All right, before we head out here, let's talk NBA and set up the rest of the schedule here for tonight.
The Bleacher Report app is your destination for sports. Right now, the NBA is heating up, March Madness is here, and MLB is almost back. Every day there's a new headline, a new highlight, a new moment you've got to see for yourself. That's why I stay locked in with the Bleacher Report app. For me, it's about staying connected to my sports. I can follow the teams I care about, get real-time scores, breaking news, and highlights all in one place. Download the Bleacher Report app today so you never miss a moment.
You don't buy on hope, you study the label. At Azure Well, we support that. Our commitment is simple. Tell the truth. Every ingredient listed, every amount disclosed. No proprietary blends, no guesswork. We go beyond organic and basic testing with comprehensive third-party verification. Take a look at what's in your cabinet, then visit AzureLivingWell.com to shop and learn more. That's AZURE livingwell.com. These products have not been evaluated by the FDA and are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hi, I'm Cindy Crawford, and I'm the founder of Meaningful Beauty. Well, I don't know about you, but I never liked being told, oh, wow, you look so good for your age. Why even bother saying that? Why don't you just say you look great at any age, every age? That's what Meaningful Beauty is all about. We create products that make you feel confident in your skin at the age you are now.
Meaningful Beauty. Beautiful skin at every age. Learn more at meaningfulbeauty.com.
In a world of oversharing, dating remains sacred. Meet the new Ashley Madison. Discreet dating, no public posts, no feed. Adults connecting in private. Ashley Madison, blessed are the discreet. Download the app or visit ashleymadison.com/iHeartMedia.
NBA, Mackenzie, for anybody that played the tanking parlay last night,
So
it
close.
got disrupted because the Denver Nuggets lost outright, north of 12-point favorites. They lose to the Memphis Grizzlies 125-118.
Man, and this was the one that didn't sit right. Something about Memphis, it seems like they're not tanking as hardy as some of these other teams. And of course, the Nuggets defense is going to be a question mark. I mean, they don't have any players on that side of the ball. So, yep.
And elsewhere, the Lakers do get the win in Houston, 124-116. Luka Doncic scored 40 points, missed a triple-double by one rebound. He had 9 boards and 10 assists. I can't wait to bet against the Rockets in the playoffs, Mackenzie. This team is broken.
Absolutely broken. Kevin Durant had 2 points in the first half. After talking about how it was on him, he had to initiate offense. He couldn't be doubled at the top of the key so easily, and that's exactly what happened. LeBron James outplayed Kevin Durant for the second game in a row. He had an excellent game. And Luka Doncic is playing as well as any guard in basketball, not named Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. So I got to eat some crow. Yeah, the Lakers are better than I thought, and they're putting it together at the right time. Luka looks felt again. Remember the story over the summer how Luka was
The GQ,
in shape?
yeah, right?
He's been eating vegan or whatever he's been having to do.
All right, let's take a look at the schedule for tonight in the association. You do have the Lakers on the second of a back-to-back. As we had mentioned, they are in Miami to take on the Heat. Up on FanDuel right now, the Heat 3.5-point home favorites against the Lakers. Is the market just pricing in the lack of some players for the Lakers? And if, in fact, it is no LeBron, but yes, Luka and Reeves,
Yep.
do we back the Lakers plus 3.5?
Plus 3.5, if Luka and Austin Reeves is playing, is an absolute steal. The Heat have never had a regular season home court advantage to speak of. And as we've seen, as the analytics have shown, despite his amazing 30-point performance last night, he doesn't move the needle. No metric can point and say he should be as worth what the market prices him at. So, yeah, this would be an ideal scenario. If they're a dog and the only person they're missing is LeBron, that's great. However, you got to be worried that they're going to rest more than that on the second night of a back-to-back, so you got to check that out before you bet it.
Yeah, LeBron did have an effort last night, scored 30 points, and so I would imagine he takes the night off tonight in Miami. Elsewhere on the schedule, we have a tanking game. The Pistons, 16-point favorites at the Wizards. The Magic are at the Hornets. Charlotte, 4.5-point favorites over Orlando up on FanDuel. Mackenzie, what do you like in this one?
I got to say Orlando. I mean, it's too big of a leap to say that Orlando is 2 points worse than the Hornets. No, my numbers don't say that. I can't agree with it.
Okay. Charlotte right now they're in firm position to make the play in because the Bucks aren't going to rise up, but if they're not going to get a home game, or they're running out of time to grab the 8th spot because the Atlanta Hawks have won 11 straight games.
Best team since the All-Star break. Who saw that coming? Not me.
Unbelievable. Elsewhere tonight, the Phoenix Suns are at the San Antonio Spurs. Spurs are laying 9.5 over Phoenix, Mac.
Not enough. Phoenix had kind of one trick to their arsenal earlier in the year.
Yeah.
Spurs have already played them a few times, and they're rolling right now.
Elsewhere, the Cavs, 13.5-point favorites at the Bulls. The Clippers at the Pelicans, where New Orleans, a 1.5-point home favorite. Bucks are laying 4.5 at the Jazz, and the Sixers, 3.5-point favorites at the Sacramento Kings. So something to keep an eye on with the tanking teams, whether it's, everybody, all hands on deck, what have you. Heavy schedule in the NHL tonight, including the Vegas Golden Knights hosting the Utah Mammoth. Vegas coming off of a 2-0 loss at home to the Buffalo Sabres. All right, that'll wrap up this episode of Better Day. As a reminder, make sure you are following us all across social media, as we are going to start populating some video clips on our social media feeds. So you follow us on Twitter, you follow us on YouTube, we're on Instagram as well. Make sure that you are subscribed if you're listening to this pod. You should already be subscribed, but you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss any video or short that we post there. Daily free plays go up on the homepage up on betterday.com, including a free play today from our very own Colby Marchio, our newest contributor. So you want to check that out on the homepage up on betterday.com. And here's hoping you make today and every day a better day.
The Bleacher Report app is your destination for sports. Right now, the NBA's heating up, March Madness is here, and MLB is almost back. Every day there's a new headline, a new highlight, a new moment you've got to see for yourself. That's why I stay locked in with the Bleacher Report app. For me, it's about staying connected to my sports. I can follow the teams I care about, get real-time scores, breaking news, and highlights all in one place. Download the Bleacher Report app today so you never miss a moment.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.